Hello and welcome to this bonus training. Michelle here. I have put together just a really quick overview of my business model. As I promised, the bonus for today is going to be one you voted on, which is the high ticket, highly leveraged business model I have built to scale. The current business model that I'm running is a model that I have been running in some form since around 2014, might have even been 2013, but it all focuses on high ticket offers with high ticket delivery, and it's very, very leveraged. What most coaches, consultants, experts want in their business is to be leveraged. I know that there's a lot of stuff on the internet where people are talking about get fully booked. Honestly, I couldn't think of anything worse than being fully booked. I am not here to exhaust myself trying to be, a slave to my calendar with a million different appointments every single week. I couldn't think of anything worse. And so for me, I have continued to develop and evolve a model that has continued to work for me and has continued to scale over the years. And I'm going to share it with you. I call it my $1 million mastermind formula for coaches. So it all focuses around this one signature offer, 24 clients, two enrollments per month, which means slow growth. Values always come first, have aligned sales systems in place. It's about authority positioning and precision messaging. So, a leverage business means that you are able to work less and achieve more. So, rather than having $10,000 clients to reach 100,000, I would rather have one or two $50,000 clients, if that makes sense. And so for me, I've worked in this leverage space for as long as I can remember. It just always made sense to me. And that could potentially go back to the days where I had my martial arts schools. I was teaching one class and I had a lot of people on the mat for every single class. And that meant that 1 hour of me teaching classes impacted, 20, 30, 40 people. And so leverage has been a part of my life for, since my 20s. That's just how I did business. And I always knew that we were going to tap out when it comes to hours. I've just never worked by the hour. So you'll never hear me talk about my hourly rate or you get 12 1 hour coaching calls. I can't remember the last time I've done an hour-long coaching call. I don't have a time limit on my calls because I put outcomes ahead of the clock and things like that. So this is a model that I guess I take for granted because it has been a part of the way that I've done business for as long as I can remember. The things that have changed over, I guess, that last decade or more is that once upon a time when I was selling a 12-month mastermind, we might all start in January, for example, and then we would all end in December. And then there would be another big launch to enroll people by that start date. I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. I did not want to be working with clients for 12 months and then have to mentally prepare for another big launch. And then, will I get the numbers? Won't I get the numbers? All the typical stuff that goes along with the high ticket launch, right? And so I decided I don't want everybody coming in at once. I want a rolling start, which means that at no time am I excited to have 24 clients enroll at once. I don't want that. I want two enrollments a month. And if you see where I speak about values first and slow growth, this is integral to my model. So what does that mean? It means that values first to me means I want to make sure that every person that comes into my mastermind is very well taken care of. So that means I onboard my private clients on, one-on-one, and then, my mastermind clients one-on-one. And then I know there's a little bit of hand holding that needs to take place in that first month. So I can make myself available in the WhatsApp, both the group and the private messages, so that when people are finding that their feet that first month, I can be there to support them. Because values first, One of my values is outcomes are imperative, results are my responsibility. I don't want to be the person that is selling, the highest price that they can charge and getting as many people as they can in, and then not giving a crap about what happens after that. For me, if you were to look at my client base, both my private clients and inside my mastermind, you will find that there is always a very healthy portion. Usually half of my clients are return clients, people that come back to me again and again and again because I value them and I show them that by giving them the attention that they deserve. That said, I can leverage because my clients are the most low maintenance people on the planet. Like they are the least demanding people I've ever worked for or worked with. And that's why when I talk about values first, one of the values that I have is that I want high caliber premium clients. That's important to me. I don't want to be working with people that I need to save. I don't want to be working with people who are scattered and all over the place. And I have a certain type of client and they know who they are. And for me, I would rather have 10 of those or 20 of those people and know that, they are the right people. And my DMs are mostly quiet because they just get on with what they need to get on with. And so my values are quality over quantity. My values are excellence and mastery over flash in the pan, right? So my values tie very much in with this offer and the way that I do business. And the slow growth is, am I going to be mad if three people enroll in 1 month? No, but I like two. Two people feels a really nice pace for me. And it also means that as somebody is moving out of the mastermind in 12 months' time, that means two spaces enroll again. So it's like this conveyor belt, I guess. It doesn't sound like the right word, but you understand what I mean. It is like a conveyor belt in that when two people leave, two people come back in. When two people leave, two people come back in. And so it's very nice. It's calm. It means that there's no, okay, we've got 20 more people signing up and everybody, everybody on deck. So all of this stuff is important to me. Values, one of the things that is valuable to me is being a solopreneur. Over the years, I have hired the big teams. I have managed teams. I've done all of those things. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. I like being a solopreneur. And occasionally I outsource things. And, I'm very particular about who I bring on board. And when I find the right people to outsource things to, so for example, my podcast promo strategy is incredible. And I developed that process. I got that system working for me. I hired the right people. And now my masterminders have the ability to go and tap into that. And so for me, I don't want to be outsourcing anything to a team. If my clients are hiring me, they get me. And it's that simple. And I know with 24 clients, I run 2 time zones for my mastermind calls. So we alternate calls every week, time zones. And half turn up to each call. And then, of course, you always have people that don't show up for that week for whatever reason. They don't need anything or they've got something on. And so I know these numbers are very doable while maintaining my ability to do a very good job for my clients. All right. So values tie in very heavily with this model. So you've got to look at it for yourself, right? Do you value the same things? Because if you do, then this model can work for you. Aligned sales systems are in place. So I rarely do anything that is like, heavy focused on a hurry up. We've got to do this thing and there's scarcity. And I just don't feel aligned with that strategy. I also don't feel aligned with charging low ticket. So these days, my pricing strategy is either free or expensive. And that means that free in my world means priceless. That means that if you come into my world and you're, for example, inside a challenge or inside one of my freebies, I want you to know that, this is something that most people would pay for, whether it's as a stand-up, a one-on-one, or if it's something that people get to experience inside the mastermind. So every part of the way that I do sales and marketing feels very, very aligned, and it's been developed the way that I like to do it. And so you'll find that in my challenges, my content is pre-recorded because that's how I like to do it. There's a live component, but I like to do things in a way that feel really good for me because I'm about systems. And so if I run a challenge and it works really well for me, I know that I can put that in the calendar for 6 months' time. I can run the challenge again and away we go. And everything is built. I don't have to rebuild things. I get to show up for the live component. And that's just me doing my thing, having the best time of my life because I love being of service to the people in my community. So if I'm live, you want to show up because I'm going to give you the answers that you need. I'm going to support you with whatever you need. So I do it sparingly, but when I do it, it's very, very potent and powerful. So please don't confuse that free is crap in my world because it absolutely is not. And if you come onto one of my live Q&As or there's an opportunity to come on a Zoom call with me, you want to make that decision. You want to be there because your girl has 30 years of business experience. I have been online since the early 2000s and I have worked with countless clients to achieve big results over a long, long, long period of time with the changing landscape of online. I've been there through it all and been mentoring people through it all. Then, of course, part of my business model is authority positioning. I'm not chopping and changing every 5 minutes. My message is always going to be the same at its core because I am an authority in this space. I know how to show you how to develop a high ticket mastermind, build a sales system around it, and show up like you own the internet. That is what I do, and that results in sales. So I don't rely on the algorithm. I don't rely on trends. I don't rely on micromanaging anything. I just go about my life. I know my systems are in place and I get to show up and be really precise with my messaging. And it all feels pretty amazing to me. So my work is the majority of it is content creation, and that's a small part of my day. It's like 45 minutes a day, if that, not every day, maybe 4 days a week. When we talk about leveraged, what does my client load look like? Well, it looks like 4 mastermind calls a month. So that is 4 roughly 1 hour, sometimes they're shorter, sometimes they're longer, group calls every single month. That's it. So we're talking, let's say 6 hours just for the outside of it over the course of a month. Then as my new clients come on board and I'm onboarding those, that's another couple of hours, right? And maybe I'd even throw in another couple if I feel like they need another private call just to make sure they're where they need to be. We're talking 10 hours a month, contact hours. I have private clients. My private clients pay me $15,000 US for 4 weeks of my time. And I have at the very most 4 private clients. I try to keep it to 2 to 3 these days because my priority is the mastermind. And so at some point, I will stop doing one-on-one because my mastermind is where I want to be. So if we look at the $1 million mastermind formula, I'm going to pull out my calculator. So I know that for the majority of my clients, they go onto my monthly payment plan, which right now, if I convert it into Australian dollars, it's $50,400. That is what a mastermind client is, the value, that monetary value that they have. What am I trying to say? That is what a client is worth to me when they enroll in my mastermind. And so if we look at 7 figures and we divide that by even just say 50,000, that's 20 clients, right? That is $1 million numbers. And so I know that with 24 clients, then I'm easily doing seven figures with my mastermind in a really calm, quiet, slow way. Now, there is so much room to scale even here. I will not scale on numbers. I don't believe that more than 24 clients is going to feel good to me. So it will sit between that 20 to 24. But I have the ability to scale on price because my clients get an ROI. There is no doubt about that. And so I have the capacity to scale on price, and that will happen. I'm trying to decide whether I will do a price increase by the end of this year or whether I'll kick off the new year with the price increase, but it's going up. And so my seven figures, beyond seven figures, actually, from this one product could be multiple seven figures just by doubling my prices and making sure that I'm doing a really good job for my clients. And essentially, that's the model. And so, yes, I have private clients. And yes, I also have a program called Launch Your High Ticket Mastermind in 4 weeks or less. And that's a like a $1,500 program that's just 4 weeks. And so I don't just have one offer, but my core focus is that one offer. I also have the revenue room, which is where my masterminders get to go and hang out afterwards. I'm not promoting that. That is something that I want my alumni to go into, right? And then the 4 week program is a bit of a feeder program, but I don't worry about trying to sell all three of those things. My focus is on selling my mastermind and enrolling people because I know the impact that that creates. And so this is the model. It's really very simple. And it's one offer, it's 24 clients, it's 2 enrollments a month, focused on slow growth, focused on values first. Because I promise if I don't hold boundaries around my values and I decide to take on 10 clients at one time just to speed up the process, just to get the money in the bank faster, that's going to be out of integrity for me. And so I know that that will create, the rock solid foundation that I have will rupture. And that's not what I'm here for. I'm in no hurry to reach those numbers with this one product. I'm going to take a year to do that. And it feels like a lovely pace for me. And as I say, we've got a beautiful offer. I know what my capacity is. I know what my intake looks like so that I'm doing a really good job. And then, those aligned sales systems are always ticking away in the background. I don't ever rely on any one thing for sales. So even if I'm running a challenge, I don't just think, oh my God, if this challenge doesn't work and I don't make 2 sales from the challenge, then, all is lost. Like there are a lot of different ways for people to come into my world and to be exposed to my brand and to take themselves through my systems. And then I'm a specialist, I'm an expert, and my people are too. So we really lean into that authority positioning. And that means our message can be very precise, very clear, very impactful because we know what we're talking about. We know who we are. We know what we stand for. We know what we're selling. We know that when a sale happens, we know what that means. Anyway, I will keep it short. Inside the challenge, you are going to have more exposure to how I create a high ticket offer. You're going to have more exposure to how I create a high ticket sales engine. And then you're going to have more insight around how to create precision messaging. But this is just a bit of an overview to give you an idea of what my business looks like. In the back end. And as I say, this is a business model I've been running, for at least 10 years now, like 12 years, something like that. And I will never change it. It means that every sale that I make is 12 sales. It means that one client is worth $50,000. And it's just a beautiful model. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, then stick around for the challenge. And of course, my DMs are always open. If you want to know more, if you feel like I don't even need a challenge, I want to jump in and have a conversation about how I can do this, my DMs are open. Anyway, that is it. I will see you inside the challenge.